So today, thank you for joining us. Today we're going to be talking about organizing your time, mind, and space. This is an interesting season of the history of the world, and a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home than we probably planned on. And so I just thought it would be a nice opportunity to kind of share some really tried and true organizing principles. And then I thought we could spend the last half of the hour actually applying the principles that some of the principles that I'll be sharing today. Like I mentioned, there is a handout. You can click on the link in the chat, and there's both a PDF version and a Word version of the handout that you can follow along. It's kind of like Mad Libs from back in the day. So hopefully all of you are able to access that. If you do have a question, I actually can't see the chat right now. But if you do have a question, maybe put it in the chat, and then Leo can maybe help be our navigator there with that. So once again, my name is Jeannie. I'm going to just mute you. My name is Nancy Nino. I am a professional organizer with Aloha Organizers. I'm also a realtor with Coldwell Banker. I started the organizing business back in 2008, and I'm really excited to be here and be a resource to you during this time. So this is talking about being at home during the coronavirus. This is something that my niece, my nephew's wife, posted on Facebook on Sunday, and I had already been thinking about putting together some sort of virtual organizing series, and she posted this, and I felt like it was confirmation. That's Rob, my nephew, there in the middle, and he was the coach of his boy and girl twins, who are right here, their basketball team, and that was about 10 years ago. And so, you know, while this is such an unsettling time in this world, there's also an opportunity for us to kind of hunker down, to organize, to tidy, to clean, and even to learn. So I'm just trying to find that silver lining during this difficult time for everyone. So this is often what people feel like when they decide to pick up the phone and call us for some organizing services. They are just totally and completely overwhelmed. And you may be feeling that today for various reasons. But where I want to go right now is I want you to be thinking about one area in your life. And if you're following along on the handout, this is the very first question. One area in your life that you'd like to get organized. Later today, we're going to work on a little mini little tiny area to organize, but I'm thinking more of a big picture. Like in this example, my area is I want to get organized with my taxes. And then I want you to be thinking about 3 benefits of organizing that area of your life, because that becomes your why power. So for me, if I could, get more organized with my taxes and submit electronically everything that I need to with my taxes, there are 3 benefits. That would be, I would improve my learning curve of QuickBooks, which is something that I switched to recently for my personal bookkeeping in addition to my business bookkeeping. So that would help me out moving forward. I would hopefully be getting a refund, and so that would of course be a nice little financial help during this season of less working. And then it would help me to be better prepared for 2020, just to kind of have a better system in place for my 2020 taxes. So those are the benefits for me, and that's my why power. I'm going to open it up, and if anybody is not bashful and wants to share the one area in their life that they'd most like to get organized right now. And if we don't have anyone who's brave, we'll move on. Anyone? Cousin? Calling you out again, Leo?
I'm sorry, teacher, I didn't hear the question.
What is the one area of your life that you would like to get organized right now in this next kind of few weeks or season?
Sorry, Nancy, I'm having audio trouble here. One more time.
What is the one area in your life that you'd like to get organized right now? What would be that?
Taxes too. I heard yours, taxes, mine definitely, yep.
Taxes, okay, taxes. All right, moving on. So we're on the, and if you folks can be writing down or kind of take a little mental note for yourself, what is that one area and some benefits that will help you moving forward. So the first section, we're talking about organizing your mind. And the first step, I believe, in organizing your mind is creating your master project list. Creating your master project list. So your master project list is a central repository for all your short-term projects, your long-term projects, your someday maybe projects, your hopes and dreams. And this is a concept that is promoted quite a bit by David Allen, who is a productivity expert and the writer of the book Getting Things Done and the Getting Things Done method of productivity. And one thing, I've actually taken a class from him a number of years ago, and he's just a really inspiring, humble, wonderful man. And one of the things that he says that I really agree with is that, let's say you're doing a master project list, you just do a brain dump, you're feeling out of control, and you take 10, 15, 20 minutes and you just do a brain dump. You write down everything that you want to do. It's disorganized, but you're just getting it out of your head to organize it afterwards. You're just kind of stream of consciousness. Well, in between, from when you started writing that list, when you started doing that brain dump, and when you finished, nothing has really happened functionally, practically. You haven't done anything because you're just writing a list. But the way that you feel mentally before you wrote the list and after you wrote the list is dramatic. So there's really a lot of power in having a master project list, doing those brain dumps, and then organizing them afterwards by category, by priority, or any other way that makes sense to you. And perhaps down the road, I'll do a Zoom on creating your master project list. But it's really, in my opinion, the first step in organizing your mind. And the next one is that a project, we're on the second bullet point of organize your mind, a project is made up of small steps called tasks. A project is made up of small steps called tasks. So a task is emptying the dishwasher. A project is, I'm going to give an example and we're going to do a little chat together. Going to the dermatologist could be considered a project. I, for example, need to go to the dermatologist when all of this blows over. So why is that a project? I'm going to ask for your participation, you brave ones, to tell me what's the very first thing that I need to do to coordinate going to the dermatologist. It's the very first thing.
Make an appointment.
Make an appointment.
Okay, but before I can make an appointment, what do I need to do?
Find a dermatologist.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay, good one. You're right. Find a dermatologist. I have my dermatologist. I know who she is. First, I need to get my calendar to make sure that when I call to make the appointment, I know what my availability is. So I find my calendar. I then call the dermatologist, make the appointment. I set a reminder in my calendar system, whether paper or electronic, so that I remember that the appointment is when it is. And then I go to the dermatologist. So those were 5 different steps that needed to take place. And if I didn't have a dermatologist already, there would be additional steps. So not to belabor the point, but just to give you a sense of how many projects you actually have going on at one time. And David Allen says, you know, it's anywhere between 60 to 100 projects, and for very busy people, it's even more. So give yourself credit, because you actually do get done more than you think. So that's the concept of a task versus a project. You also want to use daily and weekly to-do lists. Daily and weekly to-do lists. And in this case, where we are right now, for me, I'm kind of sticking more to daily, because I don't really know how things are going to unfold in the next week, and even plans that I had last week have shifted this week just with things changing. So those to-do lists can still get pulled straight from your master project list, the different tasks that you need to do to keep moving the ball forward on different projects. Next, we want to use shared calendars with your family members, either online or visual. And for online calendars, a lot of families like cozy.com. They have web-based calendars as well as an app on your phone. And the same thing with Google Calendar. Really helpful for people when you have multiple schedules. Obviously, right now, most of us are hanging out together and there's not a lot of activities going on. But maybe this means that's a good time for you to set this up so you have that infrastructure in place when things pick up activity-wise again. And then for those people who are not real big electronic preference types, just good old-fashioned big calendar that hangs up in the kitchen or the living room can be helpful. And also having a whiteboard next to it where you can write the daily schedule on there so everyone in the family knows as they leave the house. Another technique that I love, and we're moving into organize your time, and the first point on organize your time is to be intentional with your time. A technique that I use often is called the Pomodoro technique. And the Pomodoro technique was created in the 80s or 90s by a gentleman from Italy who was going to law school. And he wanted to figure out a way that he could have really focused study time. So he was Italian, and he had one of those little tomato timers, which is Pomodoro in, tomato is Pomodoro in Italian. And he would set the timer for 25 minutes and would bar all distractions and would do his focused studying, and then he'd give himself a 5-minute break. So there is a lot of power in setting a timer to do focused work. And just not answering the phone, not answering email, just focusing on that one thing, that one project. And we will apply this in a little bit when we do our practical application. And next one, planning your schedule, experiment using the unschedule, This is a time management technique by Neil Fiore, who is the writer of The Now Habit. And basically what this says is schedule everything first that you want to do or that you're going to do. You're going to sleep, you're going to shower and get ready, you're going to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you're going to commute. And then plan the things that you want to do. I want to watch TV at night or work out, those kind of things. And only after that do you plug in the more kind of, the more drudgery type tasks like work or other tasks, cleaning, other things that you normally wouldn't be too excited about. And the reason for that is it helps you to feel like you're taking care of yourself first, especially for creative types who resist schedules. This can help them feel like, okay, I've plugged in my own time first, and now I'm more open to plugging in those other less exciting tasks. Next, you want to create, and this is a little bit odd to talk about right now, but we're probably not doing too many errands, but this is a really awesome strategy that actually one of my clients many years ago came up with. And this is creating an errand map. So my client lived in Makiki Heights, and she wanted to make sure she was making really good use of her time when she went to other parts of the island. So if, for example, she knew she was going to go to Kailua, probably hard for you to read, but she could, look at the other places. If she had to go on one errand in Kailua, she could look at the other places that she may be able to hit up while she was there. The canoe shop, Down to Earth, First Hawaiian Bank, Hibachi, her attorney, the Mac shop, or Whole Foods. So it really helped her to be more efficient with her time and to make use of a trip across the island. So errand maps, a great idea. Another thing, of course, with regard to travel is traveling at off times so that you're not in that frustration of traffic. It's not taking up your time, traveling midday as opposed to morning or afternoon. Next, make regular appointments with yourself. We have different projects we want to accomplish, and often, we're very quick to make appointments with other people, but we're not setting aside that same priority of time for ourselves and the projects that we have to take care of. So make appointments with yourself. Next, email is not urgent. A lot of times people push back on this, but the fact is email is not urgent. If there was something really, really critical, mission critical, most of the time someone would call you or text you about it. And I think we're seeing that now. There's a lot more texting and calling going on, and yes, emails as well. But often we get that unrest. We wake up in the morning, oh, I got to check my email. I got to check my email. There's something going on. When really, like I said, if something was urgent, you would find out through another method of communication. And a lot of times we can get lost in the abyss of email and not end up moving forward on our priority projects. With regard to email, we don't want to check our email. We want to process our email. So checking your email might mean hopping in there, looking on your phone or looking on your computer and kind of opening one up. Oh yeah, I should probably respond to that. Or maybe I'll do it later, and then you close it and then you go on to something else, and then you come back and you open up that same email. Oh yeah, I should probably do that. And it's this kind of recurrent train, but it's not really taking care of business. So 3 types of email. There are action or response required emails. Those are probably the most critical. There are reference emails. An example of that might be, you make a payment online and you get a confirmation. That's something that you want to file away. You want to keep for reference as evidence of the fact that you made that payment, but you don't really need to do anything with it. And then the third type of email is informational or non-essential. Those are the newsletters we get. Unless you're going to keep those for reference, if you're not going to read it, that's something that can get tossed right away. And again, email may be something that I do a future Zoom on, just because I know it's a struggle for a lot of people. Now we're going to be moving into organizing your space. And interestingly enough, space is the method that I use with all clients. Space stands for, and by the way, you can use this in the smallest area, as small as a junk drawer, or as large as a garage. I mean, it works regardless of what area you're organizing. So space stands for sort, purge, assign a home, containerize, and equalize. So if you are following along on the handout and you're filling in the blanks, S is for sort. So obviously you're taking, whether it's in a drawer or a closet, you're taking all of the things out that you're going to organize and you're going to sort them like items together. Next is purge. You're getting rid of garbage. You're getting rid of things that you no longer want, that's either donate or discard or return to the person who owns it. The next for A is assign a home. So you are going to assign a home for that place. If you're organizing a drawer, typically the home would be back in the drawer, but maybe in little containers to keep like items together. And then leading right into that, C is for containerize. So a lot of times I find with clients, their drawers can get disorganized because there are no sort of barriers dividing the different things in the drawers. So having little, even unused Tupperware or shoe boxes, different little things that you have around the house can create those little sections in drawers to keep them organized. And then E is equalize. And equalize is something that happens a little while after you've set up that new organizational system. Let's say that you had a junk drawer and you organized it and it becomes a utility drawer. And because it's organized, it's no longer a junk drawer, right? So you have your utility drawer and you decide that you're going to keep your keys in that drawer, but the place where you originally put them is in the back of the drawer. Well, it's not very convenient for you because you got to always open up the drawer, reach down in the back. So you might equalize by saying, hey, you know what, I'm going to put my little box for my keys right in the front of the drawer so I can just pop it open and drop them in when I come home. So that's equalize. It's just kind of tweaking the system, which usually happens after you've lived with your system for a little while and you realize that you need to make some adjustments. Next is hot, warm, cold. Hot, warm, cold. So everything in your home is either hot, warm, or cold. Hot items are used every day or almost every day. And those are in the prime real estate of your house, the most easy access. Warm items are used every week, every month, regularly enough that you want to still have easier access to them, but they're not in the prime real estate. And then cold items are those things that are used very infrequently, maybe seasonal items, things, just not used too much that you might store way up high in a closet, or you might store down low under a bed, because you really don't need access to it very much. Next is one in, one out. We've all heard this one, and it's just a really good, solid organizing principle for maintaining the equilibrium of your house. If you continue to bring more and more things in, but you're not discarding or donating or moving out other things, you're going to end up with clutter. Just kind of a space versus volume issue. And next, a place for everything and everything in its place. Everything in your home should have a designated home. And to that end, labels are your friend. Labels are your friend. Labels make you accountable to your system, particularly if you live with a number of other people. It's great to have labels so everybody can be accountable and everybody can know what goes where. And that'll help them to be more responsible to put things back. Finally, beware. Oh my gosh. Sorry, big bang outside. Beware of clutter makers and clutter sellers. Beware of clutter makers and clutter sellers. And clutter makers are those things that perhaps you did not even know existed until you walked into Costco. And then you saw it and you had to have it. But it's kind of back to the intentionality thing. It's not something that you necessarily intended to get, but you get it and then you maybe don't have a place for it to live. So one of the things we talk about is if you're going to purchase something, you want to be able to think about where is this going to live in my house and when am I going to use it in the immediate or near future. And if you can't with confidence answer those questions, then you might want to rethink that purchase. So beware clutter makers and clutter sellers. We're not doing too much of that kind of shopping right now, but just good to think about for when we do get back out into the malls and stores. And then I just wanted us all to take some time. It's 5:26, so I'm thinking I can set the timer for 25 minutes and we can all focus on one area in our house that we want to organize in that time. I'm going to be actually doing some filing and clearing out the top drawer of my 2-drawer file cabinet because that will help me to get ready for my taxes. So I'm gonna, like I said, set the timer, and I hope that you folks can find either a drawer, a cabinet, a shelf, a medicine cabinet, a pile of papers, or a stack of mail that you can address in the next 25 minutes. Does anyone want to share anything before I go ahead and tell Alexa to set a timer for 25 minutes? Okay, I'm going to stop. Stop the sharing right now, and I'll just leave that up there for now. And just going to invite you all to go to that space in your house that you want to organize, and I'll see you in 25 minutes. Alexa, set a timer for 25 minutes. much time do I have left? Alexa, stop. Okay, folks, 25 minutes is up. I want to invite you back to your computer or your phone and do a quick little recap, and we'll be on our way. Are you guys back? Erica, looks like you're back.
Back.
What did you work on?
Who, me?
Yes.
Well, I thought I could just organize the top part of my desk, home office area, that if I cleared it off a bit, I would feel better. But my frustration is that I just get overwhelmed, and I don't know how to. I find that I just move things around from one file to the other, and I mean, I was a little bit successful, but very frustrated, and I have a hard time staying focused. I look like that person that's on the screen right now on your.
Well, my hope was that you would have, you know, had a little bit of a win, and that's why we're focusing on a small area. But
Yep.
I can, go ahead.
Oh, I would, yeah. I was hoping I would be a little more focused too. Maybe I took on too much for a 25-minute, although, I mean, it's just, you know, stuff. And a lot of it, I don't know how to file or what to do. And if I put it away, then it goes out of sight, out of mind. And I'm worried that things will fall through the cracks.
Right. Well, you and I might want to talk offline about maybe doing something virtually, so you can kind of have someone to talk through that with.
I thought that. I saw in a recent email that you put out that you are not a big fan of virtual, but would consider it. And I thought about contacting you because I know I contacted you like 6 years ago about coming to Kauai. So yeah.
So let's talk. Let's connect about that, because that might be. I'm not. It's not my preference, but it's certainly we've sort of shifted our offerings now, and we're not actually going in homes at all. In the immediate future, we've canceled all our appointments just out of an abundance of caution. So so I have to flex like everyone else in this season. So yeah, we can chat about that and
Okay.
maybe you kind of break through some of that frustration. I will share for me, I was intending to file and then to go through my file cabinet, and I did file, but I only got through like 4 or 5 files in my file cabinet because the filing took so long. So I share your frustration with, you know, we often, I know I often have projects that I think will take X amount of time and they take, you know, 2 or 3 times longer. So you're not alone with that. Is anyone else? You're welcome. Leo or Jeannie or Sandy, anyone else wanna?
I tackled under my bathroom sink, found a lot of old medication and a lot of old makeup that hasn't been used in years. So great purge.
Awesome, great job. Yay, victory. I want to see a before and after.
Oh, okay. I didn't take pictures.
No,
before.
I'm sorry. I didn't give any advice for that, but I mean, a request for that, but awesome. Good job, Jeannie.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Hello? Hey.
My sales tax is due tomorrow, so I downloaded everything I needed from PayPal and started cleaning that up.
Your what's due tomorrow?
Sales tax.
Okay. Cool. Good work. And good for you because it's nearly midnight where you are.
That's right. Do I get an extra gold?
You do. You get extra stuff for that. Yes. Anyone else? Sandy or Susan want to share? Oh, Sandy said tackled the top of her home office desk too. Needed to do it, probably working from home for a while. Yeah. And Susan, anything to share? Perhaps maybe she's still working away. Oh, clean out the section of the counter behind my office. Everyone's getting all productivity around their office and files and paperwork and stuff. So awesome. Great job, everyone. And if you found this helpful, I'd really appreciate your feedback, whether in the chat or via email, or you can also text me my personal cell. I'll put it in the chat so you have it handy. I intend to do more of these, but just kind of trying them out. We just sort of put it together last minute today. So thank you so much for your participation. And if no one has any questions, I'll go ahead and sign off.
I just wanted to thank you, Nancy. Thank you so much. And I would be willing to participate at any time and in anything.
Okay. Awesome. I'll try to give you guys a little bit more notice next time. We just kind of, like I said, put it together at the last minute. I have some thoughts about photo organizing, some more paperwork kind of focused organizing, doing a group brainstorm well, individually, but each of us individually brainstorming, though together on a Zoom for our master project list and talking a little bit more about that. I have organizing for your brain type presentation that I gave recently at Simply Organized, and that might be one that I'd like to share too, and that might help you, Erica, and others who may feel like, you know, the traditional organizing methods or expectations don't maybe work for you. So that might help as well. So I will bid you guys all farewell and thank you so much. And I will be in touch via social media and email to share the next Zoom. And hang in there. Be safe.
Thanks, Nancy. Aloha.
Aloha.
Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. Ciao.